Welcome back to Frederick Advice Givers. I am Eric Verdi. To my left here is Linda Ryan with Mission of Mercy, episode 176. So Linda was a recent speaker at Impact Club, event number 9. Had an amazing story, and I thought it should be shared because they help so many locally here in Frederick. Brunswick, Thurmont, Southern PA, Baltimore. You help 5-6 different counties, two different states. What her mission and the purpose of Mission of Mercy is awesome, to help those low and underinsured people. And she was giving me a little behind the scenes, and we'll get some extra footage here. We have the 2 medical and dental facilities behind that are mobile, that are incredible. So Linda, I appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for coming to talk to our guest.
Thank you very much, Eric, for having me, and I always appreciate sharing about Mission of Mercy.
And you guys are doing an amazing job. Before we talk about Mission of Mercy, tell us about you, your backstory, and how did you get involved with Mission of Mercy?
Okay, well, my backstory is I have a disabled son and a strong background in education, and also a great interest in medicine. Okay. And so, and I went on and pursued some graduate work at Hopkins, but I think I was just really inspired by my son and all of his medical needs, and we've been in and out of lots of hospitals. So, and I also know what it feels like to not have insurance, because there was a time when my son was really young and his father just got out of the Navy that we didn't have insurance. And that's a very scary situation to be in. It's and that's where a lot of Mission of Mercy patients find themselves. They're sick and they have nowhere to go, and we are their medical doctor, and we provide free health care, free dental care, and free prescriptions, and we don't charge them a penny. And as you shared in the beginning, Eric, these are folks, many of our folks are really the working poor. They're working 2 and 3 jobs. They're either kept under the number of hours where you don't get insurance, you know, so the employer doesn't pay them insurance. And or if these individuals are working, they can't afford, if they have like Obamacare, they have the highest cost plan for them, the highest deductible, which could be like $5,000, $6,000. They cannot really afford to get sick. And so if they come here and we give them, most of our folks have chronic health issues, which means diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and you really need to be seen on a regular basis, which can be very costly, especially your meds. And if we can help individuals by giving them free health care and free medications, then they are able to put that money on the table for their children, for food for themselves, to pay their rent, to put gas in their car if they have one, and just to pay for any other expenses that they have, which we all have. And as we know, the price of living is going up. So, but our true mission here is really to restore your dignity and heal through love.
Okay. So give us, our listeners, viewers, and myself, the 10,000-foot view of how you help. You know, we've got these 2 facilities behind us. How often are you in certain locations? Do patients, do you call them patients?
Yes.
Okay. Do patients, I just want to make sure,
that's good.
Do patients come to the various locations you go to, or are they in one location? So give us a 10,000-foot view of Mission of Mercy.
Sure. So the real overview, we park these 2 amazing vehicles at Mount St. Mary's University, and so we go a 1-hour circumference from there. Okay. And the Sullivans, who started Mission of Mercy, Jonna Sullivan, she's a pharmacist, and her husband, Michael Sullivan, who's our chief medical director, they made a decision years ago. They bought an old RV 25 years ago, because we're 25 years old, and they decided, you know, we're going to go out to the poorest of the poor and help all those who, as we say, years ago, those folks had no insurance at all. Our government really wasn't supporting those, you know, with medical assistance at that time. Then they realized, well, we need a lot of other people to come behind us to help us out. So that's where they started with the volunteer base of getting other nurses and doctors and dentists. And before we had this dental vehicle, and we only got this in December,
Oh, wow.
we
Okay.
had a MASH unit, just like they drop in the Army field hospitals. So we carried it underneath in the bottom here, just like you do a bus. We carried all that equipment. It took an hour to set it up and an hour to break it down. But that's how we treated patients, extractions and fillings only.
Wow.
I know. So now, after working 2.5 years to raise money, because these vehicles cost $400,000 each, and we still need a little bit more to pay for this one. That's how we decided we had to have a new dental vehicle, which,
Right.
as you saw, is really state of the art.
It's spectacular inside.
It is. It is. So then the Sullivans said, we cannot diagnose people unless we get testing done. So that's where we got the hospital partners, because we get free lab and x-ray from the hospitals, because our hospitals realize we're keeping the patients out of the ER, because they have
Right.
no money to really pay, right?
Right.
And then churches, they decided churches would be wonderful host sites. And we're here at the Frederick Church of the Brethren today, as you know, and they have a lot of wonderful space downstairs. But before we arrive, there's a whole team of volunteers. Oh, actually, Sunday night, the youth group here sets up all of the tables. You saw when you come in, we had a registration
Right.
table. We have our triage area inside where the nurses, as a patient, you come in, you register, then your triage would take your vital signs. If you have diabetes, we say, okay, Eric, we do your finger prick,
Right.
we check your weight, we want to know if you're on your diet. And we also have a volunteer diabetic nurse trainer who will work with you too on menus and
Okay.
really talk to you more about your diabetes. And then you come out and you're seen on the medical van because you have a medical issue. And then once you're done, you go back in and you wait for your free medication, which comes to you in a brown paper bag with your name on it and your next appointment. Then you go back to registration, you make sure you're in the book,
Right.
and you'll be seen again on your schedule. Now, if for some reason, and the good thing about us being mobile, yes, you did mention we're here in Brunswick and Frederick, and we're here in Frederick at this church every other Monday.
Right.
And then we're in Brunswick like every other Tuesday.
Okay.
And then the other Tuesdays we will be in Reisterstown. And Wednesday we're in Tawnytown. And Thursdays we're in Harrisburg. Wednesday we switch off for
Okay.
Gettysburg, and then in Harrisburg. So we do travel quite a bit, and we have a volunteer base at each site.
Each hub. Right.
So when you saw all those volunteers inside, we operate with, I would say, we have 220 volunteers.
Oh my gosh.
220. And these are licensed doctors, nurses, dentists, dental assistants. Then we have individuals that do registration. We have individuals that are interpreters. One fellow speaks 5 languages in here.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh my gosh.
So, and then the churches are so awesome because at lunchtime you'll see brown bag lunches come in,
Okay.
and the ministerium of churches come together and they feed our patients. At Reisterstown, it's called the Lunch Bunch, and they make hot buffet lunch. I love going there. So they have this wonderful hot buffet lunch. So, and at this church too, we partner with agencies. So the health department sends over an individual who has a table. We call it Community Connections, and she gives out information on free colonoscopies, free mammograms, anything else that our patients could utilize.
Right.
Frederick Memorial Hospital, we have a great partnership with them called the Shared Patient Program. Somebody directly in the ER and a patient where the patient's discharged.
Right.
If you really don't have insurance, you can't pay your bills, they'll call Dr. Sullivan directly. And if he agrees that we'll take that patient, they then become a patient of ours.
Okay.
And the hospital is giving us some remuneration for that every year. So we're helping them save money, and they're finding a medical home, which is what we are for patients who don't have insurance, or they're uninsured or underinsured.
And you said there's no vetting process.
Right.
Right. So you come and you're in need. Mission of Mercy won't turn you away.
That's right. Now, if there's another program, like if you have terminal cancer,
Right.
there are programs for you in
Okay.
the state. So, but here's a really good example of something that happened. There was a fellow that was hit and run. He was left for dead in the street.
Okay.
And they broke his back. I mean, this guy was in unbelievable shape. Well, he will never work again. His injuries are really severe. But in order for him to get medical assistance, that's a long process, and you have to have tests.
Right.
Well, he had no money to pay for MRIs and that's something the hospital gives us, limited ones. But he had to have a lot of testing done in order to prove, and he had to have a doctor, so Dr. Sullivan worked with him, took us a good 6 months to a year, and now he's on medical assistance. So, because he needs to be,
Right.
this poor guy. And also, we have a hospital in Baltimore that gives us 12 free surgeries a year for free.
Okay.
So for folks who have need a hysterectomy or an appendectomy, we can help them get back to work. They would never be able to get that, so.
Awesome. And you've been with Mission of Mercy since the beginning, is that correct?
25 years.
So this is what you do.
It's what I love to do.
This is what you do. I
Right.
mean, it's how many days a month are you guys out servicing clients and patients?
Well, we are out at least 10 to 12 days a month.
Okay.
Because the other days, because we're a doctor's office, we have to get back to pharmacies, we have to
Right.
get back to hospitals. There's a lot of follow-up. And because, as you saw, our medications, because we buy our medications in huge bulks, they have to, at an undisclosed location where we keep them, they're broken down on the weekends into carrying. So
Right.
there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work
Absolutely.
at a doctor's office, and we're mobile doctor and dental office.
So if I had a physician, a family physician that I went to,
Yes.
and like the gentleman with the accident.
Right.
Okay, I imagine he has. He also had. He got medical assistance. Do records get transferred? Do you guys keep records just like a doctor's
Oh,
office?
yes. We have hard copies and we have cloud-based records.
Okay.
Through a grant from the Osherman Foundation.
Awesome.
Everything is cloud-based, and we now can utilize the CRIS programs. These are programs that go between hospitals and also pharmacies.
Okay.
So, we don't carry narcotics, but if someone does have a problem where they've, been on opioids or something, we really help to try to get them off.
Right.
And, give them alternative medications. We also try to have physical therapists volunteer at our clinics so we can do a holistic approach and teach you, maybe through physical therapy, hey, if you tighten your core,
Right.
that's going to help your back, because every 10 pounds of pressure on your back is worth, 100 pounds of pressure.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
I
Any
got you.
10 pounds of weight in your belly is worth 100 pounds of pressure
Wow.
on your back. So if we can help you tighten that core, that's going to help your back.
Right. All right. So let's talk about your fundraising endeavors. You
Okay.
said you apply for how many grants per year?
Oh my gosh, we write between 50 and 75 grants a year.
Oh my gosh.
It's unbelievable.
So what's that process? Being with the Impact Club,
Right.
there's really no strings attached. You come and you talk for 5 minutes and you get that quarter's donation. And I've talked to other local charities and they say they've got to write a 30 or 50 page, grant synopsis to get $1,000 or $1,500 or $5,000.
Right. Well, it all depends on the grantor,
Okay.
but there's usually a general format
Okay.
that you have to fill out, and and you have to not only do you write the grant, but like today, usually a foundation will send out one or two of their representatives,
Okay.
and they'll check to see if you're really doing what you say you're doing.
Gotcha.
And you can prove your outcomes. We keep copious records, so we can prove, Eric, that if you give me a donation for this clinic site or for Brunswick, I can show you the numbers of patients. We can break it down to what their conditions are. You don't,
Right.
of course, get their names,
Right.
but we can show you how we're being good stewards of your investment. And there's something called the 4-Star Charity Navigator rating, and that's a watchdog. And
Huh.
so if you...
What is that called again?
It's the 4-Star Charity Navigator rating.
Okay.
So when you submit your 990s to the government, there's funders out there looking. And so this group really does a deep dive into your organization without you knowing it.
Okay.
And that's the highest rating you can get. from this 4-star Charity Navigator, and we've gotten it 2 years in a row.
Awesome.
Because we have very few paid staff. Our medical staff is part-time paid, even though they work more than that. And we have a few full-time and paid employees in our office. But other than that, we not only do we write all those grants, but we have a breakfast coming up on the 25th at the Ark of this month. Of April.
Right.
It's the 25th anniversary celebratory fundraising breakfast.
Awesome.
It's from 8 to 9, so if you're interested, I can give the information. We have a golf tournament June 10th at Holly Hills.
Okay.
And then we have a gala that's coming up in October, the 4th, at Springfield Manor Winery.
Okay.
So, and then we talk to churches, civic groups, any individual that would be interested in hearing us speak. You know, we make ourselves available. And again, 25 years, and we really don't rely on government support. So, because we're not a federally qualified healthcare clinic, we are totally on our own.
Wow.
And it's just a blessing that and our mission is really to restore your dignity and heal through love. And if we had to pre-qualify you and make you fill out all these forms and prove your poverty, that is not our mission. And Dr. Sullivan, our chief medical director, says it the best. If you are volunteering, he said, you don't need to have any initials behind your name to restore someone's dignity or heal them with love. Because just a warm smile, just taking time to listen, or maybe just touch them. You know, it's just that you care enough to be with them. And as Dr. Sullivan said, we call it reciprocal mercy, that when we give, we receive. So it really comes back to us. You know, we're giving God's love and we're getting it back.
Awesome.
And that's what we are.
Awesome. All right, so Linda, where would our listeners, viewers, find out more about Mission of Mercy, about your fundraising events coming up, and or if they need care, you know, what days, how would they, is there a schedule on the website? So tell us about that.
Yes. So our website is www.amissionofmercy.org. You have to put that letter A there, missionofmercy.org. And on the website, go under Maryland, Pennsylvania, and you'll see where our clinic sites are. Okay. And also the dates and times that will be there. Now, you can also call the office, and it's 301-682-5683, extension 211. And Rachel Smith is our admin person, and Rachel will give you all the information as well. Now, we also do tours. We do 1-hour tours. So if you'd like to come and see firsthand what we're doing, if you've donated and you want to say, hey, I'd like to see if
I think there's a tour going on inside right now, right?
Tour going on right now. Okay. So, you know, we are very transparent and we want you to come. We really, it's unbelievable what we're able to do with a volunteer base, with the support of the churches and the hospitals, and just giving everything away free. But we can't do this without the support of the community. And donations are really important, so we really appreciate any support. But come and see what we're doing.
Awesome. You know. Linda, I appreciate you joining us today on Frederick Advice Givers. Listeners, viewers, episode 176 of Frederick Advice Givers. Linda Ryan with AMissionofmercy.org, AMissionofmercy.org, and we are out.